Are we ready?
I think we're ready.
Okay. I am Nick Suknaic. I am a junior at Gwinnett Mercy University. I am here to interview my parents today. Can you introduce yourself?
I'm Ann Suknaic, Nick's mom.
Yes.
I'm John Suknaic, Nick's dad.
Perfect. We got it all. We got it all figured out. So today I'm gonna ask you guys a series of questions that were already put together beforehand, and everybody in the class has to do so. So I'm gonna start and ask you these questions.
Okay.
Okay. So most of them have to do with your your childhood and like what happened in your childhood basically. What is the best experience in your childhood, do you think? And you have time. You can think. Don't feel too rushed.
I would say it's a culmination of a couple
We can work with that.
things in my childhood.
Mm-hmm.
Some of my best memories are because we grew up in a house that had 7 kids and
That's a lot.
2 parents. My dad was a deacon. My mom was a nurse. My dad your grandfather taught at the Catholic high school in town. So we didn't have a lot, but I would say my best memories are of just waking up Christmas morning, having friends all the time because you had your brothers and sisters. My oldest, the oldest today is 54, and then the youngest.
Who's that?
That's Aunt Stacy, and then the youngest would be, oh my gosh, I think she's 42. So it's
Wow.
like growing up with your friends. But I would say that was one of, just all the memories of waking up. And then at my mom's mom had a farm in Cascade, Williamsport, and we would go up there for summer vacations.
That's fun.
And there was no running water. You had to go to a well and pump the water.
I don't think I'd be too good at all that. I don't remember.
And it was an outhouse, so in the middle of the night you were down there with a flashlight. And
Yeah, no, you're not getting me there. Yeah.
So, but I mean, it was fun. We didn't know any better. That was our summer vacation. All my friends were at the beach. I never saw the beach till I was 12, but I didn't know any better. I loved it. And then my friends would want to come to the farm with me. They thought they were missing out. Anyway.
Well, little do they know. I wonder if I've been missing out too much. So I'm asking you the same question. What was your best experience in childhood?
I think there were more than one, but I think one of my favorite was probably every Sunday we would have Sunday dinner and all our relatives would come in from out of town.
Okay.
The Woslacks and the Metallos, Grissy's next door. Everybody come over and have family dinners, and I think that was fun. We got to play with all of our cousins all the time. I think my best childhood memory, I don't know if you want to call it a memory, but there was complete freedom of movement. I wasn't monitored by my mom and my dad. I could stay out as late as I wanted until the street lights came on. When the street lights came on, that means it's time to come home, regardless of where you're at. There's no contact, meaning
They weren't smothered.
There weren't
Right, yeah.
no cell phones, no pagers, no nothing like that, right? So if you wanted to talk to somebody, you had to, put a quarter or a dime in the phone booth and make a call home, but no one ever did that. But you.
So why didn't you raise me like that? Why didn't I?
Today it's a different culture. It's a little bit different outside. Not that we live in a bad neighborhood, because we don't, but.
Yeah, but I think you did have freedoms because.
Oh, absolutely.
You got to
there
roam
were
around
how
where
many?
you wanted.
Right, and there were so many kids in the neighborhood that when you walked out the door, we didn't know where you were at. You were in the
I
neighborhood.
mean, like nowadays you have clowns running around.
Right.
Like you have these insane people
Right.
that are just that you can't be out by yourself or even with friends. If you're young, that age, you can't be out that late.
Right.
Like there's just crazy people in the world now, and there's more of them.
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah, my mom would ask, where are you going? I'd say out. And she'd say, when you coming home? And I'd say later.
Right.
And she was fine with that.
She was fine with that. She was okay. And we would just go out and run around and play out through the neighborhood or go into other neighborhoods or, ride my bike to Lebanon, 35 miles. But it didn't matter because I'd come home before it was dark and everything was okay.
Wait, we're not gonna just leave that on the table. You rode your bike for 30 miles?
35 miles.
To see a
Lebanon.
girlfriend.
No, I went to see my cousin Kathy.
Oh.
Went to see my cousin Kathy out in Lebanon. I'd ride my bike to Aunt Mary's house in Middletown.
Would you ride on the highway?
Well, you know, not on 322, on back roads. It just takes a little longer to get there.
Yeah.
I do not.
How long did that take you?
I don't know, maybe a couple hours.
That's crazy.
I
Yeah.
wouldn't want to do that.
I'd be dripping in sweat.
it
I
was
would be
fun.
too tired to hang out.
But it was fun.
How old were you when you did that?
Probably 14, 15, before I could drive. I didn't have a license yet.
Wow. That's crazy. So, from these experiences, actually no, we'll save that for last. Let's go back to the best experience, but I'm gonna ask you something different this time. What was your least favorite experience as a child, throughout your childhood?
My least favorite experience was we had two things. One was when I was young, and one when I was a little older. But I had a friend who was she was black, and we wanted her and my sister Mary. We wanted her to go swimming, but our neighbor did not. He wasn't as diverse as maybe he could have been, and I think he grew up in an age where things were a little different. He
Absolutely.
was a lot older, and she wasn't allowed to go swimming. And we even asked if she could, and he said no. But I loved this man. You know, he was a great man. I just think he didn't know any better. But that really stuck me because that made me feel really bad for my friend.
I mean, personally, I feel lucky that, heck, what's up? I feel lucky because I did grow up in a time where my roommate at school was black.
Right.
I have 4 black cousins, and it's fine. Is there still racism in the world? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Will there always be? Hopefully not, but I mean, it's looking that way that there always is going to be a little bit. But the good part is, nowadays I can freely go and I can hang out with my friends, no matter what color skin they are.
Right.
We can go to the same places. We can swim in the same spots. We can go out to eat at the same places. It doesn't matter anymore, which I find to be very helpful. But that's very interesting that.
Well, and I felt bad. I mean, I don't want to give the bad impression, that he was bad, because he wasn't. I mean, he'd probably be in his 90s now, so he grew up in a different era, but he was kind and nice, and he would, if he, he knew people that were black, and he was friendly with them. It's just he didn't want them to swim in their pool, and that just made me sad, but, made me uncomfortable, I guess. So, and then what was my other worst? Oh, my brother used to get into fights, and I used to worry so much that something would happen to him. I think they were my only two. Otherwise, I was a happy kid. We had fun. But that was probably my two worst memories.
Now, how about you? What are your least favorite memories from your childhood?
Probably that we never went on vacation as a family until I was 20 years ago.
Wow.
33.
But explain why.
Well, my dad, he didn't really go on vacations, and my mom wouldn't fly.
Yeah, but not only that, your sisters were 12 and 13 years older than you.
Sure, yeah.
And your mom had MS.
Yeah.
And she had
But
it before you were born.
But she could get around. I mean, she could get around. And she went on vacation with us when we went to Myrtle Beach.
Do you think your dad just didn't want to go on vacations?
I just don't think he had the money to go on vacations.
Gotcha.
So I would always go with Aunt Mary and Uncle Frank.
Right. Do you think that's how you guys
Or
became
Uncle Dick, or Uncle
so
Dick
close?
Carol. Oh yeah.
They acted as if
They were like secondary parents.
That's good.
That's really what they were. They were like fill-in parents.
I mean, even while Aunt Mary was here, she was always like treating me like I was her son, always giving me like more than enough money on my birthday, more than enough money on Christmas, Easter, all those holidays.
Yeah.
And like I don't know, I think that speaks a lot about our family too, just how you guys were raised. That kind of like has an effect, obviously has an effect on me, and I got raised by two of the best parents, I think, you know.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yes, the family values.
Most of the time.
Well, you had your good days and your bad days.
Exactly. I believe that. All right.
Sure.
So we got the best experiences. We got the worst experiences. So during these experiences, what was learned? Like, what did you learn through your good experiences and your bad experiences?
My good experiences, I think, instilled in me the power of family. It feels good even to this day to have all the memories. We might not have had a lot, but I really didn't know that until we were younger. We weren't, poor and destitute. I don't mean that, but my mom was a nurse. My dad.
I mean, you had 7 kids, and 2 parents. That's how many people?
And my dad
9
worked
people
for
in the house.
Catholic school, so that wasn't. I mean, he didn't make a lot of money, but I would say, and being the middle child of the whole bunch, I think it's made me easygoing. It's made me tight with my family. It really instills your core family values and what I want. For my family, I want you and Nora to always be close. I want you, to always have that connection and feel that, feel what it's like.
Right.
And then for my worst experiences, what it taught me was, I guess I was raised where everybody's the same, and
I mean, growing up in a church where your dad's the deacon, I mean, like that's what I was taught as going to Catholic church too. You treat everybody the same. We're all created equal. We're all created in the image of God. Like, I mean, that's what I was taught. That's what you were taught. I mean,
that's
what
you're
I've
taught.
been used to. Exactly,
Right.
but
Yeah.
you taught some things, you forget some. Clearly.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But I would say it's just taught me to be kind and nice, and I don't want to have that feeling or inflict that feeling on someone else. So I think I am somewhat of a peacemaker. I don't like there to be confrontation or conflict, and so I feel like it has taught me to be a little kinder, a little nicer, and not want to have that feeling.
Right.
So.
Now, what about you? What have you learned through your good and your bad experiences?
Did you already talk about the bad?
I think so, didn't I?
Yeah, she talked about both, but now I want you to talk about them.
Yeah.
All right.
You can reiterate what she said. You can say the similar things, but it's
not
just
really the same. I think because what I learned is that there's a lot of power in freedom, right? To have that freedom of mobility, to have that detachment from everybody, and I think it's important that you have that freedom too, and that we all have that ability to move around. That's why we let Nora do the things that she does, because she needs to have that freedom too, to understand what it's like to have that freedom, to know that if something ever happened to you and you got in trouble, say with the law,
right.
that freedom would be taken away, right? So you can't take it for granted, but it's knowing. I think I learned that knowing what that freedom is it's powerful. And I took that same freedom when I left high school and went right into the military. I still had that same freedom. So
right.
It's understanding that there's a lot.
Which
of
is
things
uncanny
out there.
that you gained freedom by going into the military, which kind of
right.
takes that
right, which very
movement
regimented,
away.
Right.
Initially, it does. You have that regimented thing for the first 2 or 3 months while you're in boot camp, because you have to be. Then it's kind of like prison, right? Now you really have no freedom, and then you go out and to do your job as a military person, and you get all that freedom back again, right? Even more so than what you had initially.
Right.
Because, 18, 19 years old, you're in another country where the drinking age is only 18, right? So now you have this responsibility. You're not 21, so you can't drink in the States, but you're 18, so you could be drinking in Spain, right? So there's other freedoms that come with it, that dog. So yeah, I think that's what I learned. I think for the most part, I don't think there was anything. I guess that could be good and bad, the freedoms of it.
Oh, absolutely.
Having it and then getting it taken away because of the military, and then having it back again. So
Yeah, but you earned it, you know.
yeah, you earn that. You earn,
Mhm.
you earn that freedom.
I agree with that 100%. That's Abby, by the way, the dog. Yeah, she's been making a couple of guest appearances.
That's why you have trackers on phones to know where kids are, because you want to know where your kids are, but you don't want to disrupt what they're doing. But at least it gives your parents that peace of mind knowing that, all right,
They're safe. They're
Well,
not
who
in a ditch
touched on that
somewhere.
for a second?
they're safe
Because-
or someone's house.
because-
you know that.
Like me going out if I was younger, and when I get a phone, seventh grade to call.
Sixth grade, I think.
Sixth grade. I was only able to call. I couldn't text
Yeah.
till 8th grade or 7th, something like that. But it was always on me, and you guys always knew that you could text or call my phone, and it would be on me. But like when you guys would go out, you guys didn't have cell phones.
At all.
So your parents were just like, all right, go out. Maybe they'll come back later. I don't know.
Right.
And
Like-
I was stuck at school a bazillion times because my parents would forget to pick us up.
Oh yeah.
And you'd be stranded. And if you didn't have a dime to put in the payphone,
You walked.
you walked. Exactly. It's a
That's
completely
crazy.
different world.
See that's one of those things that like still like I like have to like think about it because I'm like I
you'll know better.
I
That's what you go
get
with.
anxious when I don't text somebody back in like 10 minutes.
Right.
But like my parents, if I don't text you back in 10 minutes or I see a call that was placed like 30 minutes ago, I'm like, oh crap, like I gotta actually call them back and like. But like you guys didn't have to worry about that back then. But like,
Well, think
there was
about
so much more
college,
to worry about.
too. Like my girlfriend, she went to Pitt, and I remember being with her on the weekend, and she would call her parents every Sunday. Like that's the only time you talk to your parents, on Sunday. Like you didn't talk to them
During the week.
during the week, right? And some kids they went to college and they'd come back on break, and that's when they talked to their parents. I mean, it's a completely different world.
And you remember where I lived on South 12th Street.
Hmm.
So if I didn't feel like riding a bus, I walked to school. And that's what?
That's pretty. That's
It's a
actually.
bad neighborhood.
6 miles? 7 miles?
Oh yeah.
Easily.
Did you walk
Easily
through?
that
Did
far.
you? Wait, your house was near. That was near like that PennDOT building, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I know where.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little,
That's crazy.
little further, but right
Mhm.
there, yeah. Yeah, so right there through Hoover Homes, through Hall Manor,
Mhm.
and Dairy Street, 19th Street, Dairy Street, Kensington Street, right up to Market Street. So
And your mom didn't worry.
my mom didn't have a car, so she couldn't
Right.
drive me, right? She's like, start walking, right? Walking.
You get to be late at all for class ever?
Oh yeah, she'd just call and say, John's gonna be late.
Missed the bus.
Missed the bus.
Well, and your mom didn't drive because she smashed
She wrecked the car,
into an egg truck.
the only car we had, into an egg truck, with me in it.
Nuh-uh.
And Steve too, right?
Yep. Yeah, she left me and Steve both in the car while she went in the supermarket. And I
Being
put the car
curious.
in neutral. I was little. I was probably 7, 8 years old.
Let's see.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. Right in the front seat, no seatbelts. None of that was required. And it rolled right down the hill, right into an egg truck.
Now, what'd you learn from that experience?
Don't touch my dad's car.
Was he mad?
I don't know. I was just a kid.
Probably mad.
He was
Probably
mad
mad
at
at
my,
your
he was mad at my mom.
She never drove
She
again.
didn't drive anymore. Yeah.
Right.
All right. So this is the last question, but we can dwell on this question for a little bit. From all these experiences, I know you touched on it a little bit, but if you could, tell how you feel again or add more onto it, that would be awesome. From these experiences, what could you tell me that would improve my own life? Like, what could I take from your experiences, good and bad, and incorporate them into my life to make me a better person? Let's start out with.
Well, let me go back to a previous question.
Okay.
Something I wish I would have learned when I was younger, but I didn't, was how to properly save money,
Mm-hmm.
invest money. Because I think if people were taught that more at a younger age, starting in maybe 8th grade through high school, then they would have a better handle on their finances when they got older.
I think I could have benefited from that.
I think every kid could benefit from that. Every kid, have you ever opened a checkbook in your life? Have you ever balanced?
I don't even know what I would write on a checkbook, to be honest with you, and I'm what, almost 21 years old.
Right.
Because
Like
everything is
that's the
credit
thing.
cards and
Why don't they teach that stuff in
have-
high school?
I have your checks. They've been sitting upstairs for over a year.
Yeah, I never wrote a check out.
Kids don't know how to balance checkbooks. They don't know how to handle money. They don't know how to invest their money. They don't know how much money to save, what it's going to take for them to retire. So I think that's, that's something that was lacking. In school, we took business courses in high school that would teach you how to do that stuff. But I think that's what kids need today.
Yeah, but not everybody got a business course in high school when we were there either.
No,
something you
I had to
chose.
I had to
Yeah.
choose it. Yeah,
That
business
should be
math,
a
they
like a
teach you that.
basic
Here's
class.
how you, right. It should be a giving class.
Mhm.
Everyone should know how to balance a checkbook, how to reconcile. Right.
I think
know.
everybody should have to take like at least in high school. I think they should have to take at least one like you said, like business math or like business or like accounting. I think everybody should have, if I would have taken that in high school, I would have had a way better time in college learning it.
Yep.
Easily. So easily.
Oh, I agree.
And I think because like that's huge. Everybody, no matter if you're a nurse, if you're a doctor, if you're a lawyer, if you're a fireman, if you're a police officer, you got to know how to use your checkbook. You got to know how to manage your money.
Right.
Right. And you want to know where your money's going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely. I want to know where our money's going. That's for sure. So yeah, I mean, I think that's something to be said for that. So what was your question again?
From these experiences, what could you tell me to improve my own life? Like the experiences you had, what the good and bad ones.
I'd say enjoy your freedom while you're young. And when you get older and you have kids, take what you learn from your own freedom that you had around here. And, let your kids have that same type of environment. That would be what I'd say.
I think growing up in the environment where I was allowed to go, I was allowed and encouraged to go play outside with my friends. I grew up in a neighborhood where I had a friend that lived right next to me, a friend that lived on the other side of me, a friend that lived right in front of me,
Yep.
and a friend that lived like 2 blocks away.
Yep.
And having those freedoms, being able to stay out till 9 o'clock at night. That's pretty late for a kid in middle school.
Yep.
Like that was just, I don't know.
Out
But
running the neighborhood.
exactly, I think growing up in that environment allowed me to not only respect the boundaries that were laid out in front of me, but I also just abide. It helped me to abide by rules, and it helped me to just understand what freedom is, and understand that and understand that it can be taken away.
Right.
Right.
If I came home too late, if I did something wrong, my freedom would be taken away.
If you wrecked a car.
Yeah, exactly. If I wrecked a car.
3 times.
Not saying that it happened.
If you wrecked 3 separate cars.
But I mean, we're not gonna.
Putting that out there.
But touching upon that freedom part, I think we were very lucky because you grew up in a neighborhood where you could, it was kind of open up the door, let you play. There was a ton of kids. All the moms kind of had their eyes open. But I think you've learned a lot through friendships that Dad and I couldn't ever teach you. What goes on in the backyard, like when you guys were playing or when you guys fought or when you guys, kept your mouth shut so nobody got in trouble. I think that's so important because you didn't have the street freedoms that Dad had, but you had the freedoms to be out and about in the neighborhood.
Right.
Where in today's culture, every parents are on you. I don't think you get to move around as much.
But when you're not given that freedom, I know plenty of people who, when they were younger, they didn't. Their parents sheltered them. They kept them in. They didn't let them do the things that I did. Those kids end up to be the ones that either make bad decisions and bad life-changing decisions, or just don't get the motivation because they don't go out and they don't when they're younger they don't go out and they don't interact with people, so they don't know how to.
Skills,
You don't know how
right?
to. If you don't interact with people, you're not gonna know how to talk to people.
Right.
The only reason I'm able to continue this, keep this going, talking to you guys, is because I was outside there playing, and talking to those people and keeping conversations with them.
And relationships going.
Exactly, brings it right back into here, right back into this circle.
You guys have had your shares of fights. I mean,
Oh my goodness, yes. You learn how to deal with people. You learn how to read people. Like, if you're not given that freedom, you'll be stuck inside and you'll probably only be playing video games, in my opinion.
Right.
Which is that's no life to live. Go out and meet people. Go out and see things. But,
Agreed.
I mean, we do need to, touch on this. But that was a good answer. Now from you, from these experiences, what could you tell me to improve my own life?
I would say, I think you are a very compassionate person, you know, and I think you are very welcoming for the most part,
Right.
you know.
Yeah.
But I think just keep your eyes open, and somebody was speaking today and I was listening, and they were talking about how, you know, you miss out on sometimes really good people and good experiences when you shut yourself off and you build up like an invisible wall, you know, and then, you know, like if you place judgment on people, then you'll miss that opportunity of conversation, of friendship, of, you know, opportunities. So I think it's just, you know, a good idea to keep your eyes open. What was the other one? What was the other question or the other answer that I gave?
The one about the pool.
Oh, that's the one I was talking about. Just to keep your eyes open and be kind and compassionate and, you know.
And stand up for those who can't.
Exactly.
Right. Everybody needs red, so.
Exactly. That's the thing. There's so many movements trying to go on, but you never really see a movement where it's just a collection of just different people, red, white, yellow, black, orange, green, people just coming together and just, you know, all of us.
Maybe someday, hopefully.
I mean, it better be soon.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
What did you learn from this conversation?
What did I learn from this conversation? I learned that before this conversation, actually, which is something interesting, I did not know that you were given all that freedom. I didn't know that you were allowed to just go out and do whatever. And from hearing that and then hearing your side, I see how your two forms of of your life, I see where they like come together as a parent. Like from parents,
Like
exactly.
how I do things.
Exactly, and how mom does things. I see how you're more like, all right, yeah, go do it. Like, just ask your mom, make sure it's okay. And like, because you were given all those freedoms.
Right.
Mom was not given all of the freedom, but did she have freedom? Absolutely. So her is more, she is more like trying to, like, I don't know, she wants to have more control over like what I'm doing rather than you. And like seeing that now, hearing what you said, and I'm now just putting it both together. But what I'm taking away from this is that I feel that I'm given such a good, like, I don't even know how to say it. I have two of the best parents in the world, and I realize that in life, like, not everything is gonna go your way. Sometimes you're gonna get all that freedom, sometimes you're not. But when you put your two minds together, you created something great, and you continue to show that every day.
So now do you know why mom texts you all the time? And
Yeah,
I very seldom do?
and where I get a call, I'm at school and I get a text, hey, what are you up to? Every day, you know, it's fine. Of
course.
It's fine, you know. I love responding, and then I hear from him maybe like when I come home, or like and once every other Sunday.
But I think sometimes moms need that connection. Moms need to know, it's not that I want you to talk on the phone with me for an hour. I just need you to say, I'm all good, everything's great, and then I can go, you know, back in my day. So.
And the other thing that you said about the your family comes over on Sundays or whatever, like they used to come over. When we did that, that was like awesome. That was so much fun. Like just everybody around that good Italian meal, you know, the homemade sauce, the homemade pasta, the homemade just meatballs, everything. Like, that's just awesome. Everybody can come together and we can just talk, and it's cool that I got to see that.
You got to see something.
I got to see from my perspective, and now I hear it from yours too, and it seems like we had like the same experiences.
Yep.
Which is awesome.
That's exactly right.
But yeah, and also with yours, when that man didn't let the black girl swim, like I think of that now, and I'm like, you know what? Like, I'm happy like that my generation is not like that. That we're not gonna not let somebody swim because of the color of their skin or the way they look or anything like that. Like it's like, is there, like I said, there's still racism. It's still out there. It's still gonna be out there. But you don't see that as more today, and I haven't seen it in my almost 21 years of living. Yeah, and
Well, and the crazy thing is, I didn't look to him like he's such a mean man. It really was.
Different time.
It was a different time.
And people that grew up well before us.
made that impression.
That
And
was
it's not
them.
right.
Exactly.
Right.
Oh
It's
no,
not
I
right.
believe that. I do not think that man was a bad man.
I think he felt bad too. Like as a kid, I could sense that he felt bad, and I put him in a bad position by
Right.
asking. But I was coming from a different era than he was.
Right.
You know what I mean? So part of me wishes I never would have asked, because it made me feel bad and it made him feel bad, and it certainly made my friend mad. But you know, it is what it is. I think things do happen for a reason.
I did too.
So.
Well, I think that might conclude our interview. Thank you so much for participating. It'll be on YouTube, and I just want to thank everybody who watched. It was a good time. We had a good time doing it, putting it all together, and I hope you guys have a great one.
Thank you.
Bang.